Hey everybody, how's it going? Alright, we're gonna start off with, let's see. And again, thank you, Noob, much appreciated. Okay, so we're gonna be getting started with episode 5, the second trial. So let's continue with that. Trial former, day 3. Wait, we're on day 3? Huh. Alright, hopefully everything's sounding good. February 24th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you. Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Gasp. That's a trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt, isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. February 24th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... Humph. I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunks of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as a prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Dun dun dun. Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I am Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it, sir. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you call a part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend, sir. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. Give us your report. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. Meekins is a Fortniter. It all makes sense. I can see Meekins being a Fortniter. I can definitely see it. Give me a second. Sorry. It was those damn violent video games. Absolutely noob. Violent video games cause murderers. 100%. It's a guaranteed fact. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly called. I fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's Meekin's family motto, sir. I see, then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. I love that his ID badge actually matches what he's doing right now for a pose. Though it's not my normal duty, I was assigned. Why did you do that? Who ordered you, Gant? Mr. Meekins, you worked in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. It is a nice detail. I played on DS, so I don't think it was very visible. I could see that. Unlike DS used DS was more pixelated than how polished and clean it is now, and you had a smaller screen to work with too. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Thank you. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. It's adorable nightmare fuel. That's how I consider this. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see, sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Caught a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck, sir. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is, I found it. There, this is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir, it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see, huh? But the number 4989596 isn't on here. Oh, it's being shown twice. Oh, uh-oh, Meekin. Uh-oh. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. Sussy, very sussy. I see. So it was during that second time when, yes, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's why I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand, sir. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it. I killed the man. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? Then I just say I killed the man? I know I don't look the type really into Kung Fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been kind of desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew, yes, he punched me right in my face, sir. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Alright. According to the report from the officer that woke up in the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice, or I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around through, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Is a Blue Badger gonna have a camera? Well, we can all rest easy now, right, Phoenix? Uh-oh. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekin? With regards to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief can't deliver it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it? What is that? Videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room, sir. It shows that I kill him. I want that. Finally, security footage. Time for a real, authentic courtroom investigation. You know it's probably not real. I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of... Oh, show us a video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder? Just what are we getting ourselves into? Are you not supposed to be seeing this if you have videotape footage? Imagine the Blue Badger actually murdered Goodman. That'd be the realest plot twist of all time. Oh my god, DS footage power. 3D models. No, why are you hiding his face? No, stop it. No, that's BS. Huh. Oh? Was the music necessary? I believe we're all thinking the same thing. Why the hell did the Blue Badger hide his face in such a good... Oh my god. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was this wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's a Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room and sort of, Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Don't diss Gumshoe's masterpiece. It blocked the freaking... it blocked his face! No... Okay, sure. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to be Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Dun 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 dun. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter, but you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see, sir. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer, alright? Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it, sir. Meekins is about to lose his badge. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins! Eek! Having been shown a questionable video, at best, we are not in the best moods. Now, please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. Yes. Of course, sir. I will, sir. Don't worry, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you're positive it was him. I mean, he opened the locker, which, you know, required his fingerprint to do so, sir. I don't know. It's so clear, isn't it? About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir, I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. Well, can't you actually just get, like, people's fingerprints and utilize them like that, in a way? Like, duplicate them? Wonder what kind of methods he tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. The locker in question, and the locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Do you like Meekins? I think... I feel like I'm giving him a decent voice, and it's more fun to voice him than almost anybody else so far. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic trouble, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it, sir. However, the most important detail is not shown in the video, the man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir? Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Yo, Edgeworth really wants Phoenix to actually prove. I love Edgeworth right now. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. Yeah, because you couldn't see his face. But if he was wearing, like, again, if he's wearing something to actually, like, replicate the fingerprint, that would make sense. Edgeworth wants to stare into the Blue Badger's eyes until you lose your soul. That's his strategy. You're right, you're right. What? This video contains such a contradiction. Objection! Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out? Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. Yo, Edgeworth is like helping us out so heavy right now. He's on our side. I love him. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, Please show us this contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Miss Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause. That's cool. I like that a lot. That's actually really neat. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please, don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video, sir. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Whoa, technology. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction you speak of? Bam. The thing that's strange about this video would have to be, this? Hold on a second, I need to use my eye drops. Well, I don't get it. Would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine? Don't look at me with those bleary eyes. Before your eyes get too teary, perhaps you should think this through again, Every time you point your finger, someone gets hurt. That's the one pointing his finger at us. Is there a mouse pointer? I think so, yeah. No, they only have a finger pointer. Interesting. Am I not pointing to his gloves? I'm so confused. Has got to be this, Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about this. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Miss Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates a man may not be Detective Goodman. Ooh, I almost walked right into the defense's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir. Rats, I need to slow down and tackle things one piece at a time. This is actually a little annoying because it feels like that's one of the biggest things. The dude is wearing freaking gloves. And yet somehow I cannot do that one? Fine, it's a freaking knife that he wields then. The switchblade, I guess. Wait, the dude's absolutely wearing gloves. This song is gonna freaking be the death of me. Do you not see those? Are those hands? Leave me alone. When did he get that blood stain? Oh wait, that was against Meekin's hand. How do you go accurately with that? Blocking his face twice, my dude. freaking frame by frame BS. Oi. Give me a hug, Meekins. I'm going to kill somebody in this game. This song literally just annoys the hell out of me. Holy. A bit of a tricky one, but you see it? Cool, I don't.
Take that!
That's not Goodman's locker? I need a break from that song, my dude. Like, seriously, oh my god. Shh. Lord. Alright, give me a second. Oh. Sorry about that. Was a good man. Shut up, Quinby. Do we lose frames on stream? It's not Edgeworth's knife? What is it? Oh, I am losing it. Hold on, just relax. You got this. Just try to not give any advice, new, please, and thank you. Ugh. Ugh. I appreciate it, but I'm just gonna try to figure this out myself, and then I'm just gonna be freaking annoyed. What the hell am I missing? Believe in You. I wasn't kidding. I actually love this song so much, so I'm not complaining at all. This song is irritating the hell out of me though, so that leaves one of us. Also, this video thing is so sick. The video footage is really cool. It's just trying to find what I'm trying to look for. Hey, by the way, did you enjoy my commentary and gameplay last night? It was very good, Quinby. You did a very good job. I'm proud of you. Oh my god. I cannot believe it. I literally cannot believe it. I thought I saw something at the end. You motherfucker! Take that! Fine, fine. Okay, the thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Huh. Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Miss Wright. I swear to God, Edgeworth, you literally better not do this right now. But you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? One thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective... Edgeworth! No! I want the sweet release of this damn song right now. Edgeworth, why? Give me a second. Where is... Isn't this already open? Officer Meekins, you mean me, sir? As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released. Does he have a little sister? According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Thank God. Longer and more difficult. This case has like it amped up in dialogue heavily 100%, but that's to give more showcase to all the other characters as well, for all the new ones they introduce. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. And like a lot of this gets more difficult with time too. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit. It is lit, your honor. It's quite lit. Precisely my point, your honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. What the fuck? Order, what's the meaning of this? It's very simple, your honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have been broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's unlikely, your honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. Well then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, your honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, your honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor, say? There's something else that seems out of place in the video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Okay. Very well, let's inspect the video once. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright. Fine, what? You know, we're getting out of this immediately. I'm not staying in this. Nope. What jammed? It was, dun dun dun, the glove. Please watch closely. This is a continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Yo, they turn off the music on the replays? Yes! Meekins choking himself out is a top 10 Ace Attorney, top 10 Ace Attorney animation. Absolutely. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that the things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall. We can't be sure that item was. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of... But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electronical currents. It would need to be insulated. Or an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene, there just might have been something that fits the description. Well, sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got it figured out. Do we have it figured out, Phoenix? Do we? Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was the insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Well, as you can see here, I have a rubber glove. I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove, but we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. His poor hand. His poor neck. Order, order, order. So, are we to believe that the victim whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. Ooh. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins? Please testify about this. Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man 2. If you're wondering what I want for my birthday, I'll accept one of those blue badger mascots. I hear you, Quinby, but no. Dun. Oh, the music's kicking in. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. There's one other thing that proves a man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID record right here, Your Honor. The only one we do not know is the 77s. The ID card used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is a victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination. Ooh-wee, dude. There's one other thing... So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in this bandage, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. V. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Oh. Yeah, I use my right hand. Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Dun dun. Is that the card hanging from your neck? Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. Well, what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out my car? Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck, actually. Instead of... Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him. Bring down the time. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Miss Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Okay, so I actually have to use evidence this time around. I wonder if it's this line of evidence, to be honest, or this line from his testimony. Yep. Man in blue will be a murderer if he has to watch that video any longer. True. Very true. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed. But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something had to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order. So now, what does this all mean? It only means one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is, well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end up well. No. Well. It seems you finally realize exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in the video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police station at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. Edgeworth set him up. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness. Observe the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Oh no, Phoenix. What did you do? I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Oh no! The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something else, or Miss or Lana. What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object. Objection! One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. I can only see him creeping all the way around. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Can we actually? Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom did you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? Gumshoe.
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Let's go. Texas Ranger time. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed? What's the word? Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Hour and 16 minutes. Feb 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Miss Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is just trying to protect you. He's trying his hardest. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Let's go, Gumshoe. No, get back here, Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Aw, you've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident? Solana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. Miss Sky was a witness? Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I've brought you yourself, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this is SL9 incident? Is that... That's a classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No. Emma, wait. She ran away. You know what? I just remember I gotta be somewhere. See ya, pal. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. All 4 of them, not to mention Lana and Emma. Okay. Are you saying that my personality matches with Gumshoe? Everyone involved in this case I hate you. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Miss Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay. We got this. We got this. I have faith. We'll finish this trial. Let me get more water. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I am back. Oh, I miss something. Also nice. Also, haircut looks fresh. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. Play grand blue. Nice. All right, let's get back to it. Feb 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand, the officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Go. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Hey, partner? Oh, I'm just, a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed? Yeah, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. Yo, he's still drinking. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. Yo, if it's that long, I swear to God. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall. It's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth describe that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day that crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sand. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we got to the point, quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime in plain old English. The witness has a knife, Your Honor. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchid. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that just ain't my style. Besides, the room protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Wow. That's gotta be the worst, testimony ever. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute, what do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Well, yeah, but what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Your Honor, the witness has a knife. Have you not realized we've been dealing with 2 knives this entire trial? And he's got one as well? Don't you think he's, kind of got an edge? How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? He's worthy of that edge? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing ain't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Every time I erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. This guy has flair for being dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Sorry about that, I was finishing something off. But you made rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I say, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Mr. Marshall, on the day of the crime, just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, I can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? He's just like me for the way you are, Quinby, I swear to God. You used to be a detective, so you used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing? Do you have somebody? What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's Vongole sepia pasta. Vongole? Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties just to eat some noodles? All desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edward says, objection. Did you not want to raise us here? Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? Out of ammo, Officer Marshall. That's right, partner, or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently, you're superior, Zone. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. How does one up the ante, though? If he patrols it, then he would have to have an ID card, right?
Objection!
It means it has nothing to do with the current case. Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall, Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana and Emma, execution investigating Damon Gant, Lana Sky, head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators You're out of ammo? So nothing about Jake Marshall. Yeah, okay. Okay, what do I have? What do I have? Each time I'd erase the tape, it feels like I was erasing part of my life. This guy has a flair for being dramatic, but it isn't good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. I was supposed to, but that just ain't my style. Told you that ain't my style. No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does a guy avoid being fired? Dang. Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint blocking mechanism? Sorry, partners, I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that you mention it, Gumshoe said something like that too. Hey, it doesn't seem... Can you tell us? Okay, side saloon. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti, not even Angel's lunches. You abandoned your police duty to eat some noodles. On Desperados eat tacos. That's not what I meant. I hope this has taught you a lesson. That's strange. What else do I have to show besides the handprint, my dude? Joe Dark, serial murder, sentenced death. Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Trial data, head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana and Emma Skye. Investigation Task Force, Executive Investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye, Head Investigator Bruce Goodman, Investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Star. Okay. We have the tape, but that's not gonna do anything. This is like our main finger, like our main source, right? What have I presented so far? I presented the ID card record, and I also presented the SL9 incident file. Did not mean to do that, okay. I want to try this one more time though. Maybe I just did it at the wrong section. Protected by 2 security systems anyway. No. God, dude. You know what? We're sending it.
Objection!
Like, it made me think I needed to actually gather up some other stuff before I presented this. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime, and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. So dumb. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my round about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. No, no, no. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene. The blood was wiped away. However, a luminal test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about the fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstain handprint. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. The witness explanation appears valid, however, there's room for doubt. Maybe it's not as valid as I think. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something, I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean, what I said. That the locker I used when I was a detective, the locker I still use. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint locker all this time without ever knowing it. So then what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine, it's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. The chances of that are a million to one. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that happening are a million to one. Get one thing right, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day, kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast while the other was a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. Don't see what's homominid? Homominid? I can't say that word. Leave me alone. Have nothing to do. Sure. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How did you know that? Maybe a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There's a blood stain at the scene, though thought to be left at the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. So long as my trail isn't there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video's next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth, the floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Got you. Got you, Chief. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Miss Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. We're going through this as fast as possible because I'm not going to listen to this forever. I can't stand this. Let's stop right now. Damn. Bye, song. Oh no, Blue Man is gonna murder someone now. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, you did it, Phoenix! Or did the last 2 words count? That'd be 10. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. Oh! The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. You see, this music's good for this videotape. The other one, we're done with that one. That locker with a white cloth sticking out, that was a witness's, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Order, order. It would only seem, hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needs to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb, he really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say open that locker, now prove it. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Oh, he threw it back at him! What is that? Is that meat? I only got 1 word, partner. No! You said that in 8 words or less. You said that in 7 words, noob. Yummy jerky. I think it was beef jerky. Fair. Order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Olay. Please answer the question. What is he now, bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room, yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall? What was the question? What was the question? Oh my god. Where was Officer Marshall?
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Meekins didn't notice him standing there. That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory. Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. What was the question? Oh, they're ganging up on me. Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was. Should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place he could be where... So the question is where Marshall was inside here?
Take that!
There, but that's where the... Oh, I got it right! Hell yeah. That's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman, but Officer Meekins. Or, sorry, Officer, Marshall. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his ID card, sir. Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me, sir. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had showed his ID card, why didn't he just... If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The evidence is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture's on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized that the man was not Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? I want jerky. Some beef jerky would be something really good right now. You've got quite an imagination, partner. We've got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it? You're still gonna have to do better than that to break a detective, unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? You better get him because he insulted my beard twice. like that judge just let that slide. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Ugh, this can't be happening. It's so obvious that he did it, but what can I do? Well. I guess I need to help you, Mr. Wright. Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime, yet he did, despite the chance it might have been discovered later. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Jake Marshall dressed up as Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact is that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is that piece of cloth? Maybe. Perhaps the video is a key to all our unanswered questions. Very well. Let's take another. Oh, I don't want to. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness did it. Oh my god. thoughts yet. A lot of thoughts of murder. There's only one thing I can really think of, and that would be like the blood stain on like the jacket. Maybe he tried to wipe the blood off the jacket? I'm not really sure.
Take that!
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. The bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out there like that, so you hit the... It had to do with the blood on the shoulder, but I didn't realize that would be because he's hiding the damn coat. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're ready. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. It seems the time has come. Wait, a confession? I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But that doesn't help Lana. What the hell? So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. There's way too much blood for such a small donation. Why that day? When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transfer of that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I... Why do you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera and the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was Goodman starting. That's really why Goodman started filling out the lost item report. I returned his ID card I left on the floor in the prosecutor office parking lot. Why there though? That's where what? The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you would have been able to open that lock yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Sir, I had a lot of blood, sir. Considerably less now, sir. Sir, I had a lot of blood, sir. Considerably less now, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Why did you pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person, mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. Dude, Phoenix, he's been using it all trial. Did you just see it now? What? So you knocked Officer Meekins out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on camera. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone to plan, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, but the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me. I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. Yo! What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution, but you know. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's zeal, whatever the word. Let's hear it more. But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. Seal, sell. Zeal, sell. Seal, zeal, sell. Seal, sell. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I didn't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at... something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why is he so concerned about that incident? Maybe I should present him with his real reason. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in that case somehow. I'd better take a look at the files. Wheel, peel, heel. Eel, zeal. Wheel, peel, heel, meal. My fault. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In the list of murder victims. Neil Marshall, are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. Was it his brother? Damn, what a prosecutor. He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed, and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then oh my god, I can't say words. The then deputy chief of police. Oh, they showed him at the bottom left. I didn't realize that earlier. I just thought it was a partner of his or some shit. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark, my brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed, at least according to public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight, and that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. But what about Lana? The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze me. At exactly the same time the murder at the prosecutor's office, his fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance, it's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means a murder in the prosecutor's office's parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye, and the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Yo, this is actually, like, we settled the whole police stuff, but definitely Lana more than likely did not do it. What happened? It's time to hear It's time for your defeat, Mr. Wright. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake, but I didn't realize. That would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant, Lana Skye. Dun. Emma! Your Honor, wait. Emma, the defense has an objection, a scientific objection, right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. Don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. Let's go, Emma! I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killing. Now that she mentioned it, the name of both Skye sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint. Emma, you couldn't have said something before you left? You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. She was in a hurry. She could have said something. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. True, you're literally only 16. Yeah, I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. She is a child, but she could have said something before leaving. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this, Mr. Wright? I'm sorry I can't be of any more use, but still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be. Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I object absolutely, but I'm gonna have to prove it, aren't I? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. Yeah, I'm definitely grasping for straws. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Are we about to draw right now? Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Mr. Wright? Prove your bullshit right now, or forever hold your peace. With all this evidence here, there's got to be something I can use. The question is, which item can prove something is missing? My attorney's badge, more than definitely. Are you just trying to buy time? A little bit. If I had the money to buy time, I literally would right now. Buy me a few points back because freaking hell. Hey, let's go with the unstable jar. There's literally a piece missing from it.
Take that!
As long as he's facing the general direction, it seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face. It's no use. The more evidence there is, the greater the chance of me being wrong. Just calm down, Mr. Wright. Try and remember what the evidence room was like on the day of the crime. What is it that bothers me about this blood mark? Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Again. This is one of the things because I still don't have 777. I'm gonna say the ID card record because it's missing, like, we just don't have the last person. What is it that bothers me about this blood mark? What is it that bothers me about this blood mark? That blood mark is on Gumshoe's locker. Honestly, I can't think what bothers me about that blood mark. What the hell? Maybe the table shows something. I hate this guessing game right now, dude. Is it something I'm supposed to know naturally? Because, like... that we couldn't retrieve fingerprints?
Take that!
God, I really hate guessing like this. I don't like this. What bothers me about it? There's so much evidence, dude. Nothing bothers me. My client is guilty. I'm just gonna take the wildest guess without any freaking sense of what it's gonna be.
Take that!
Yeah, oh my god. I don't... Okay, the question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? Oh, is it freaking Blue Badger? Oh! What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth and guardian of proof? Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here, so what? Okay, so what happens when we put him in? This is where he was dancing at the scene of the crime. Okay, yeah. Well, what? I still don't get it. That's right. So long as a Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? So that means, just exactly what does it mean? Judge, I'm asking the same thing here. It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me like that. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon. Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? Yes. After you put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. Wait, is it because he was blocking the locker? Like, directly? How was I supposed to know that? Because the dude kept walking in front of it. This blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in. Just one moment, I will not allow such far-fetched boulder dash in my courtroom. It sounds very far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. Damn it, Phoenix. On February 21st in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time, which we don't have that footage because they erase it every 6 hours. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been. It would have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming that this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edwards said, proof must be presented. Dun, 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 dun. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What showed? Dude, I have no idea. .420 blaze it. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. We still don't know the last one. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40. Miles Edwards, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't get it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the body and the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's take a look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7 sevens. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman enter the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with a real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7 sevens. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into the safe set, find out whose ID number is 77777777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of the ID card, at least at present. Huh? What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number, this number, belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher, someone who is so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such person's identity. Objection. But that's ridiculous. Just how I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. Can't. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted, an official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries, that's how the prosecutor's office operates. Objection. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number. It's not this number. 7 sevens. Please, don't play me for a fool, partner. That's why I want to ask her. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Dun, dun, dun. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana. I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator, in that crime in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't. I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. She forged the evidence. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana, even if it involved forging evidence... Oh! See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Order, order, order! Caused a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Oh, dun, dun, dun! Damn, that was a good episode. Okay. I'm gonna call it a break there for this episode of Phoenix, Wright? Bum ba ba bum bum ba bum bum ba ba bum ba ba bum 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 bum. That was a plot twist. She forged evidence! And I hate the Blue Badger. That thing needs to die legitimately in a fire. Go burn it alive, please. Holy hell, dude. I don't want to ever see that thing ever again. Even get rid of it in my evidence, please. I don't need that. Brilliant design. They make you look everywhere but the Blue Badger. Then it's the solution. I swear. I got so livid when I found out it was a Blue Badger. Like, seriously. Oh my god. Ugh. All right, we're taking a break from Phoenix Wright for today. I'm gonna even have to go in like about a half an hour or so, I want to say. Yeah, that's a good place to end for now. I'll be back later tonight. I'm gonna probably either continue Paper Mario or start something new or play something that I still need to finish. Maybe Hi-Fi Rush. We'll see how it goes. It's really all dependent on how I'm feeling for like my wrists and everything. They're pretty decent so far for action games, but I still think it's a better idea to take a break from action games, kinda, but we'll see. But yeah, so I'm gonna end stream this section of the stream here for today. I should be back tonight unless other things come up, which I don't think they will. So thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will catch you later tonight, hopefully. Peace out, guys. Thanks for joining, and see ya.